Hi, my name is Anthony Leonardi. I lead our advanced platform specialist team here at Pega. And every couple weeks, I take a look at what's new in Blueprint and record my first look and do a hands-on. So let's do it. Couple big things have been released in Blueprint last week. And the biggest of which is the new Blueprint AI assistant. So, spoiler, I've seen this already, but we're going to play around with it a little bit. I'll give you some guidance and it'll be a fun little task. I want you guys to play around with this. It is awesome and it is a huge time saver. Just anything that takes more than a couple clicks, just have the assistant do it. And it just is so fast. So that's the first thing. Let's see what else we got. Agentic processing. So this one I haven't seen yet. Processing assignments by email. Okay, cool. So it looks like it actually emails the person and tries to process the assignment that way. All right, let's try it. That's kind of cool. And it's just a checkbox and the icon change. All right, awesome. And then refine your blueprint before download. Okay. Oh, awesome. So when you click download for your blueprint on the summary step, it will let you know if there are any best practices that your blueprint doesn't follow. So that's great. So for those of you asking, like, is my blueprint high fidelity? This is a good indication of whether it is or not. So that's awesome. We'll play around with that. Spoiler, my blueprint is not high fidelity, but that's sort of the point. So let's go. All right. Today I've got a pending claims management. I'm going to move my video up here. Case type. Basically, I'm processing a pending claim for a healthcare payer. For those of you that don't know that, you go to the doctor, they submit a claim for the bill, and then sometimes there's issues with that. And so they have to resolve those issues in order for the doctor to get paid. So let's go here. I've noticed that everything is very manual here. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up my AI assistant and say, let's add an alternate stage for straight through processing of some penned codes. Let's also add a decision shape up at the front. I'll be vague of the case for sending certain easy pens, certain pens to the auto adjudication alternate stage. All right. Okay. So it's telling me what it's going to do. That's good. Human in the loop. Pen routing, primary stage. I don't want it. Determines routing. All right, I don't know. Let's just see what it does. I want to keep the video moving. All right. So there was this little flashlight thing. So show changes. Okay, cool. It did two things. So it added an alternate stage and it added this penned routing stage, which was what this was talking about, which isn't really what I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And then I'll just be more explicit and then we'll move on. So add a decision shape to the initial review that sends penned codes that can be straight through processed to the straight through processing stage. Let's see what it does with that. All right, we see it flashing green, which is kind of cool. So let's open that up. Didn't create the business rule logic, but that's okay. So it has the notes in it, and I can update those notes with Vibe, with the AI Assistant 2, and it sends it to the straight through processing stage. So that's great. And obviously I can use the AI Assistant to do things like merging stages, adding sub processes. I can add fields to the case data model, and I can just kind of like do all those things. I've actually heard undo works too, so play around with that. So let's see where else we can do the assistant. So I know that Preview has it, and Preview is actually one of my favorite. I'm going to refresh real quick. Preview is one of my favorite places to use the AI assistant because it feels very natural, right? Because you're looking at the app and you're saying, all right, on this step, I need to add a new field. So let's go to the select tool. The select tool is very cool. I'm going to say, hey, in this area here, I want the penned category to be added. It's not there. Why not? But now that I'm experiencing it, I'm like, oh, I need this here. So one of the things I've been doing is like very quickly mocking up the process, jumping in the preview. And then using the preview as sort of a guide for myself. So it's kind of like hyper agile development within Blueprint. So here you go. Awesome. And then over here, so there's this new thing called the Data Explorer in Preview 2. So if you want to say like, oh, claim summary should be below financial impact. And so you can reorder it that way. Also, you might have noticed that like these highlights appear. So when I grab financial impact, oh, I also want that in the details section. Where do I want it? I want it right there. Very cool. Oh, but that moved it out of the summary. So let's move that back into here. So that's really, really fast, really, really cool. It's basically controlling what the primary fields are and what order they're in, which is great. I can very easily add fields. And this is my new favorite workflow. So definitely play around with this. One thing you might notice is that depending on what step you're in the blueprint, so the context matters for the AI assistant. So for instance, on the workflow details, you're not going to be able to add data objects. So you'll have to go to the data and integrations tab to add like data objects there. From preview, there are certain things you can do the workflow, certain things you can't. So play around, get familiar with it, find out where those boundaries are, and have fun. And to be honest, like be a lot faster. Like this thing is a huge help. All right, what's next? So I'll move this back down here. Welcome AI Assistant. Oh yeah, the agentic processing assignments by email. So let's give this a try. So let's say that there is append, subtype, claim type. Let's say that claim type is whatever. We'll just ask for the claim type, institutional, professional. So we'll go to preview. Oh, I forgot to enable agentic assignment processing. So click save. So let's see what this does and how. All right. Preview my app. So we're on this first step. The next step should do something different. Oh, cool. I've just outed, I'll blur it out, my email address. But basically it asks you where it should send an email and what the receiver's name is. So this will be like from a sales perspective, how great is this? I can send it to a customer in like a meeting and we can work together through preview. And like, what an awesome demo. So let's see what it does. Send. So this is going to send me an email. Yeah, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but like, whoop, there it is. Send me an email. It's basically like, hi, Anthony. Please provide the following information for your pending claim. The claim type, and then it says, oh, this is institutional or professional. So I'll reply, the claim type is professional. So you can imagine a situation where there's a certain type of pend and we actually email the provider for additional details rather than calling them, sitting on the phone. So like that's a huge time savings, both from like an examiner's perspective, but also from like the provider's perspective. They can answer it as they need. So I've sent that. We'll wait for the response. Anthony responded. The claim type is professional. All right, awesome. So it said, thank you, I'm done. It said the assignment's resolved with the claim type professional. So now we can kind of click continue. That's really cool. That's really cool. Sorry, I'm like a little starstruck here. Awesome job, product. That is very, very neat. It's going to help me in my job a lot. Just using this as like a source of demos, but I think it's also going to be compelling in delivery too. And I'm excited for this feature in the next version of platform, I hope. So let's see here. What's next? Refine my blueprint. Oh yeah, best practices. So let's do that. So let's jump back to summary. Let's see how my blueprint is. Download blueprint. No surprise here, there are things missing. So, no access setting. This is a big one that I talk to everybody about. Like, people don't drill into the personas and update what level of access they have to cases and data. That's big because when you import your blueprint, you'll get all that for free in your access groups. It's like the perfect launching point for your personas. I also didn't reference any external systems of record, which is a red flag. And then there are some fields that are not being used in any of the workflows. So claims adjudication and pending claim review. So that's good. I can jump back to like click. I assume it'll take me to the workflow step. Yeah. Go to the workflow step, and then you can remove those fields. So, well, aside from that bug, I think this is an excellent release. Great job, and thank you, product. Really, really smooth, really, really slick. That was it. So, thank you, everyone. Drop your comments in the expert circle. Looking forward to chatting.